course, I was not very tech savvy. What I knew to do was use Microsoft Word for doing my assignments. I have a Facebook account for social networking, but I used it as a personal site rather than a professional site. So now that I am coming down to the end of school, I am very conscious of what goes on there. Another way I connected before this course was using Skype. I only have 2 friends on Skype, one of which is becoming a teacher in Germany. I think I can use Skype in the future to connect to her classroom and other classrooms around the world. During pre-internship, I had a blog for my grade 1s. I posted each day what our class was working on, and we posted our link to other education students so we could constantly show the students how many viewers we had and some of the comments that were left on the site. Parents always told us how much they loved seeing it and seeing what their kids are up to. Now that I've taken this course, I have learned about a lot of new technology websites to use in a classroom. My blog that I've created now is a professional space. It is not completely finished yet, but by the end of the course it is going to be like an electronic portfolio. It has my philosophy of education on it, my resume, and it will have some unit and lesson plans as well. It also has my professional thoughts on topics that relate back to education, and also shows through tech tasks what sorts of computer programs I am able to use. For this class, I got a Gmail account. I am able to now use Google Docs in my classroom, which will be a great way to share information with my students, post assignments, or sign-up sheets. I also have access to Google Reader as my students, so if I ever get them blogging on their own, I can subscribe to their feeds. As well as while I'm looking for jobs, I'm able to subscribe to feeds for what jobs are available. Although I swore I would never get an account, I got Twitter. I learned the benefits of it, and although I have not used it much yet, I know in a month when I am out in the field I will be connecting to other educators for ideas, opinions, and to share my thoughts. Twitter is an effective social networking site to connect educators around the world. Since my Twitter account is new, I will be able to keep it professional. Digo is another social network that I can use with my students. I can post websites for them that are important, and we can create a group so we can share websites, highlight, and sticky note important points on websites that we may want to remember. For my final project, my group and I created a survival guide for teachers on Wikispaces. I was familiar with it somewhat over the past few years. In group work, you usually use Wikispaces so that we could all edit a single document from home without having to get together. I also now see its advantages as an educator in using it with students in the classroom to edit and share videos and pictures and information. Although I do not have much of a digital footprint, mine is definitely growing. When I look at myself on Google, the first few hits are always Twitter, so my Twitter account is very accessible. I notice it has some of my accomplishments that come up, as well as a math lesson I created, a Digo account, and my blog. I am proud of my digital footprint. It does not have any negative videos or stories. My Facebook page does not come up, which is good because it is private, and although I have nothing to hide on there, it is not the first thing I want employers or parents looking at. When I get my own classroom, I'm going to use a lot of these websites with my students. I want to teach them about creating their own digital identity. We don't want any of our students turning out like a UCLA racist girl or the Star Wars kid, because these are identities they have to carry with them for the rest of their lives. I want to start my students with their own professional blogs. I want them to have a Gmail account where we can connect, and I also want to try having Wikispaces with my students. I want to start my students having a positive digital identity now, because I've had to build mine up over the past 4 months in this class. So to start young, they'll have one created by the time they get to the point in life when they need one. I may still have a lot to learn with technology, but this class got me on the right path, and I found a lot of useful tools that I can take into my classroom with me and use for my teaching practices.